Most people think the engine is the most expensive thing in their car. They are wrong. In 9 out of 10 cases, it is the transmission. And here is the part that should scare you. Almost every transmission failure I have ever seen was completely avoidable. It was not bad luck. It was something the driver did over and over without ever realizing they were killing the most expensive component under the hood. So in this video, I am going to show you 7 things you should never do to an automatic transmission. Some of these you are probably doing right now. Stick around for number 4 because that one is the mistake people make while they think they are actually taking care of their car. If you are new here, welcome. This channel is all about helping you keep your car running longer and out of the repair shop. Hit subscribe so you do not miss the next one. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you. It means a lot. All right, let us get into it. Number 1, don't believe the lifetime fluid lie. Let's start with the big one, because this single mistake destroys more transmissions than everything else on this list combined. Somewhere along the way, manufacturers started telling people their transmission fluid is lifetime fluid. Fill it once at the factory and never touch it again. Sounds great, right? Here's the problem. Ask yourself, whose lifetime? Because it's not yours, and it's not the car's. In most cases, lifetime quietly means the length of the powertrain warranty. After that, you're on your own, and that's exactly when the bill lands in your lap. Transmission fluid is not just a lubricant, it's a hydraulic fluid. It's the thing that physically makes your gears shift. As it ages, it breaks down. It picks up metal and clutch material, and it stops doing its job. The shifts get harsh, then they get lazy, then the transmission starts slipping, and by the time you feel slipping, the damage is usually done. So change it. For most cars, a fluid service somewhere between 30,000 and 60,000 miles is cheap insurance on a part that can cost $3,000, $4,000, or $5,000 to replace. Check your owner's manual for the severe service interval, not the normal one, because stop-and-go driving, towing, and hot climates all count as severe. One warning though, if your car has well over 100,000 miles, and the fluid has never been changed, talk to a trusted mechanic before you flush it, because in a badly neglected transmission, a sudden full flush can actually do more harm than good. The lesson is simple, don't wait until it's too late. Number 2, don't shift between drive and reverse before you fully stopped. We've all done it. You're backing out of a parking spot, and before the car has completely stopped rolling, you yank it from reverse into drive to pull forward. Or you're parallel parking and rocking back and forth, slamming between D and R while the car is still moving. Here's what's happening inside. When the car is still rolling one direction and you select the opposite gear, you are forcing the clutches and bands inside the transmission to absorb all of that motion in an instant. It is like running full speed and trying to change direction by slamming into a wall. Do it once, you probably get away with it. Do it 1,000 times, which is exactly what happens over years of driving, and you are grinding down components that were never designed for that abuse. The fix costs you nothing. Come to a complete stop, a full second on the brake, then select your gear. That's it. Your transmission will thank you for the next 200,000 miles. Number 3, don't skip warming up the transmission in cold weather. Now wait, did I just say warm up your transmission? Most people warm up their engine in the cold. But here's a fact that surprises almost everyone. Modern engines barely need it. The moment you have oil pressure, which is a fraction of a second, you're good to go. The part that actually needs a minute is the transmission. The engine has combustion. It makes its own heat fast. The transmission doesn't. On a freezing morning, that fluid is thick, almost like cold honey. Remember, that fluid is what operates the whole system. When it's thick and cold, shifts come in late and harsh. You'll feel a delayed, clunky engagement when you drop into drive or reverse, and sloppy shifts between gears as you pull away. That cold, delayed shifting is genuinely hard on the internals. So if your car has been sitting overnight in the cold, give it a minute or two before you take off, and then drive gently for the first few miles, instead of flooring it the second you leave the driveway. If it's been parked outside for days in deep winter, give it even longer. You're just letting the fluid circulate and warm before you ask it to do hard work. Number 4. Don't use your transmission as a brake. This is the one I told you to wait for, because this is the mistake people make while they genuinely believe they're saving money. Here is the logic. If I downshift to slow the car down instead of using my brakes, I'll save my brake pads. It sounds smart. It isn't. Think about the numbers. A brake job on a normal car is a few $100s, and brakes are designed to be replaced. That is their whole job. They are wear items. Your transmission can cost 5 or 10 times that, and it is not a wear item you want to replace. So every time you downshift to slow down on a flat road, you are putting heavy stress on an expensive part to protect a cheap one. That math is backwards. Quick question before we keep going. Drop a comment and tell me, did you already know this one, or have you been downshifting to save your brakes? I'm genuinely curious how many people have heard this before. And while you're down there, a quick like really helps the channel reach more drivers. Now, there is one exception, and it is important. Going down a long, steep hill, you should use engine braking, downshift, and let the engine help slow you, because riding your brakes the whole way down can overheat them until they fade and stop working, and that is genuinely dangerous. That is what engine braking is for. But on flat ground, in normal driving, let the brakes do their job. Use the transmission as a brake only for its intended purpose, and not a moment more. Number 5. Do not slam into park, and do not skip your parking brake. Inside your transmission, there is a small metal piece called the parking pawl. When you shift into park, that little pawl drops into a gear and locks everything so the car cannot roll. The key thing to understand is that it is a safety backup. It was never designed to hold the full weight of your car, especially on a hill. So 2 bad habits to break. First, do not slam the car into park before it is completely stopped. When you do that, the whole weight of a still moving car crashes onto that one small piece of metal. Over time, you chip it or break it, and replacing it means dropping the transmission, which is a big, expensive job for a tiny part. Second, use your parking brake every time, not just on hills. Here is the correct sequence. Come to a full stop, put it in neutral, set your parking brake, and then shift into park. That way the parking brake holds the car, and the pawl just does its backup job, exactly like it is supposed to. If you only take one new habit from this video, make it this one. It is effortless, and it protects you twice over. Number 6. Don't keep flooring it when you're stuck. If you live anywhere with snow, or you ever find yourself in mud or sand, you know the moment. The car's stuck, the wheels are spinning, and the instinct is to just mash the gas harder and hope it climbs out. Please don't. Spinning the wheels with the engine roaring is one of the most violent things you can do to a transmission. All that energy has nowhere to go, heat builds up fast, and I've seen transmissions literally come apart, cracked cases, metal everywhere, from someone trying to power their way out of a snowbank. You're not getting unstuck. You're just cooking the most expensive part of the car. Instead, stay calm, ease off the throttle, and rock gently between drive and reverse with light pedal pressure. Put something under the tire for traction: sand, cat litter, a floor mat, a piece of cardboard. Get a tow or a push if you can. And if you've got a truck with low range, use it. That's exactly what it's for. The point is, patience. You'll be stuck for 10 minutes once. You want that transmission for the next 10 years. Number 7. Don't shift to neutral at every red light. This is another one people do because they think they're being kind to the car. You pull up to a red light and pop it into neutral to give the transmission a rest. And honestly, I respect the instinct, but it's working against you. Every time you shift from drive to neutral and back, you're engaging and disengaging the clutches inside. A little of that wear is normal. It happens with every shift, and that's fine. But doing it deliberately at every single light, day after day, just multiplies that wear for no benefit. Sitting in drive with your foot on the brake is completely normal and what the transmission is built for. Now, there's a sensible version of this. If you know you'll be stopped a long time, a long train crossing, a closed road, or more than a few minutes, then yes, put it in park, set the parking brake, and relax. That's smart. But a 30-second red light or a drive-through line? Leave it in drive. And one more while we're here, don't coast in neutral down hills to save fuel. On a modern car, it saves you nothing, and it takes away engine control right when you might need it. Wrapping up, so there you have it. 7 things that quietly destroy automatic transmissions, and almost every one of them is free to avoid. Stop slamming into park, use your parking brake, warm it up when it's cold, fully stop before changing direction, leave it in drive at the light, stay calm when you're stuck, and above all, change that fluid and don't fall for the lifetime fluid myth. Take care of these things, and there's no reason a good transmission can't go 200,000, even 300,000 miles. The cars that die early almost never die from bad luck. They die from small habits repeated for years. Now you know exactly which habits to break. If this helped you out, do me a favor and hit that like button, and subscribe if you haven't. It genuinely helps the channel grow. Drop a comment and let me know which of these 7 you were guilty of. I read them all. Thanks for watching, take care of that transmission, and I'll see you in the next one.